Hello, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn. If you have parents, they're probably on some level aging, and you have a relationship with those people as aging people and aging parents. We're going to talk about that today. I'll see you in a minute. So, probably if you're listening to this, you might be in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, and that means that your parents are in their 50s and 60s or 70s or 80s or maybe 90s. And that you having a relationship with these people who are at the later end of their life, the later stages of life. And there's a there's there's a conversation that we don't want to have with people, which is how do I take care of these people who are aging? And as we were talking about this month, this families as a spiritual path, there's this element of how I'm being with my family, how am I being with my parents, what's my relationship with my parents? And perhaps you don't have a very close relationship with your parents. Perhaps there's a lot of challenges in that relationship. And there's still an expectation, either in you or them, that somewhere along the line, they're going to need some extra care. And is that going to come from you? Are they going to need extra care in terms of financial support? Is that going to come from you? Is there a need for them to come live with you or one of your siblings? These are questions that most of us have stirring in us and sometimes address outwardly, which is a good thing, and sometimes we don't. One of my clients a while ago, he lived in Colorado, and he got a call. He's in his 40s. He's got 4 children, young children, and a wife, and a good job. And he got a call from his father's girlfriend, who they lived in Texas. And this woman said, "You've got to come get your dad because his dementia is too far gone for him to be here. He can't live on his own, and you got to come and get him." Now, this completely threw my client, we'll call him Kevin, completely threw Kevin off the rails because he wasn't expecting it. He wasn't ready or prepared to have a parent come and live with him. And he didn't want him to come and live with him. He didn't want the responsibility of this fellow who has this dementia to come and stir up all the craziness that can happen in a family as it is. And so he called me and said, "I am so upset right now. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to do. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be responsible." So I believe that we're all having this conversation with ourselves at some level. And the more that we can be honest about that, the more we can move forward towards the possibility of being authentic and honest and maybe cultivating that relationship with your parent in such a way that it grows you both. Now, I'll tell you, I know more relationships than not, and maybe it's because of my profession, where parents and children don't get along enough that they would want to live under the same roof. And how do you, again, how do you navigate that? How do you get to a point where you are willing to navigate that? How are you making the choices so that as your parents age, the process becomes more effortless rather than effortful? I did a conversation, a podcast with a fellow who is in the nursing home business. And he said that the biggest challenges between parents and children is at these later stages is the parents don't want to lose independence. They don't want to lose the freedom of their life. Where the children's concern is safety. So we've got freedom, flexibility on the parents' side, and we've got the fear of safety on the children's side. And this can sometimes be a big gap to try to get across. But if we can, if you can think about yourself this is not about, I'm saying this, I'm trying to find the right words here, because it's like, how do you explore this part of yourself as a spiritual path? How do you find out who you are inside and what's really true for you in relation to this aging parent? Maybe you really do not want them in your house and you don't think it's a really good idea. You think it's like a really terrible idea. It's good to know that and be able to put that out front with them, as opposed to saying, oh, this is what I know to be true, but I'm going to abdicate my truth and my self-respect and my self-trust that I know this is not a good thing. I'm going to abdicate that because I don't want them to feel A, B, and C. I don't want them to feel abandoned or that I don't care about them. So a lot of times we're in this dilemma between what's really true for ourselves and what's not, and what we abdicate to other people. So this is a very important and challenging part of growing ourselves through our family relationships, is that we become authentically truthful about what we can do and how we can honor these people that brought us into the world. And that honoring them may be having them live in a home versus assisted living versus living in our home. It's really important to know that. And it's very, very challenging for so many people. So I live on Orcas Island, and for me it's the most beautiful place in the world, and I can't imagine ever leaving this place. Though I watch people with aging parents leave the island to go take care of them. And I don't know how they do that, but I know that their heart or their sense of truth is greater than their desire to be here. There's something greater for them. And they follow that, and I'm so respectful of that. My parents passed quite a while ago, and I had other family members, siblings that took care of my parents as they passed. So we all have different ways of being in that relationship with aging people. And so this video is really about, who are you in relation to this person? Now, again, I'm coming back to, you might love your parents but not like them. You might not even want to be around them. And it's just really good to know that if you had them and took care of them and were responsible from that place of obligation, it isn't going to serve them or you from that place of obligation. This is that place where unconditional love comes up, where can I do this in love and truly honor that relationship in love and let go of all the other secondary elements that create frustrations and loss of expectations. So it's a dilemma. And that's why, for me, families are a spiritual path, because it continually takes us and has us meet our edge, meet our sense of truth, our knowing, and those places that are really difficult. And that, that doesn't mean that unconditional love means that they come live with you. Unconditional love might mean they need assisted living. That's unconditional love. Who knows? You're the only one that would know what's true for you in terms of that unconditional love and how you want to be in relation to your aging parents. If you haven't already, I would love you to subscribe to this channel and like this video if you found value, and please share it with others if you think it would be valuable for them to hear or see this. And leave comments below of what your experience is with aging parents. I'd love to hear from you. All right, that's it. Bye for now.